Have you ever stopped to think about a truly strange yet completely obvious fact? You can remember what you had for breakfast this morning. You might recall the taste of coffee, the texture of toast, the conversation you had with a family member. You can remember your 10th birthday party, the first time you rode a bicycle, a line from your favorite movie. The past is an open book, a vast library of experiences, emotions, and information you can access, albeit imperfectly. Your memories define who you are, shaping your decisions and your understanding of the world. They are the building blocks of your identity, a record of your journey through life. Now try to do the same thing, but for tomorrow. Try to remember what you'll have for breakfast on this exact day next year. What will the weather be like? What news will dominate the headlines? What new song will you be unable to get out of your head? You can't. It's a blank page. You can make predictions, you can guess, you can hope, you can worry, but you cannot remember the future. This isn't a limitation of your specific brain, it's a fundamental rule of the universe we all live by. Why is our access to time so stubbornly one-sided? Why can we look back with clarity, but not forward? This asymmetry is the single most profound feature of our experience of reality. The past feels fixed, solid, and real. It has already happened. The future, by contrast, feels open, full of possibilities, and fundamentally unknowable. We live on a razor's edge between a determined past and an undetermined future. Imagine you shoot an arrow from a bow. It flies through the air in a clear, determined path, moving from one point to another. It never starts at its destination and flies backward into the bow. This gives us the name, the arrow of time. This concept, popularized by Arthur Eddington, describes the directionality we observe in the universe. It's the reason things happen in order. You light a match, it burns. You don't see ash reassemble into an unlit match. The arrow points from cause to effect, past to future. Thermodynamic arrow, psychological arrow, cosmological arrow. Our universe is expanding now, so the cosmological arrow points forward. These arrows are aligned. Our sense of time matches thermodynamic and cosmological directions. Coincidence? Unlikely. Memory formation likely ties brains to physical processes. Your brain is a physical system. Forming a memory builds neural connections. That process increases entropy a tiny bit. That aligns personal timeline with the cosmic one. So why can't we remember the future? Why does time have an arrow at all? Why not a universe where forward and backward are equal? Why did the universe start in a state that allowed forward progression? The answer: the nature of the cosmos, laws of thermodynamics, and the universe's initial conditions. Understanding this arrow unlocks the mystery of memory and our place in time. The most powerful scientific explanation for time's arrow comes from a concept called entropy. This is a cornerstone of the second law of thermodynamics. In an isolated system, things tend to get messier and more disordered over time. Imagine your bedroom. It goes from clean and organized to messy and chaotic. Clothes end up on the floor, books are left open, dust settles everywhere. It takes effort and energy to reverse that, to clean up and restore order. The universe is like a giant, isolated bedroom, its entropy always increasing. That march toward disorder gives time its forward direction. There's only one way for your room to be perfectly clean, but countless ways for it to be messy. Messy is far more probable. The universe follows the same probability rules. Low entropy, high order, is very specific and unlikely. High entropy, high disorder, is generic and highly probable. The universe began in incredibly low entropy at the Big Bang. Dense, hot, highly ordered. Since then it's evolved toward higher entropy like a tidy room devolving into mess. This increase in entropy is the engine of time. A hot cup of coffee cools, its heat spreading into cooler air, not the other way around. Energy spreads out, disorder increases. Cream mixes into coffee but never unmixes. There are vastly more mixed configurations than separated ones. The universe moves from an unlikely ordered past to a likely disordered future. That progression is what we call the flow of time. We remember the past, not the future, because the past created and stored information in ordered states. Our memories, while the future is increasing randomness and decay. Remembering the future would be like expecting shattered glass to reassemble. It would need the universe to go from high entropy to low entropy, a statistical impossibility. Our memories are fossils of a lower entropy past preserved in our brains as the universe marches toward disorder. You don't need a physics laboratory to see the arrow of time in action. Your kitchen provides all the evidence you need. Take an egg. It's a beautifully ordered system. A delicate shell contains a distinct yolk and egg white, separated and organized. Now crack it into a hot pan. With a little scrambling, You transform it into a chaotic mixture of cooked proteins. The yolk and white are blended into a complex, disordered mess. This process is irreversible. You will never see a plate of scrambled eggs spontaneously separate back into a whole yolk and white, then leap back up into a perfectly sealed shell. The arrow of time points from the whole egg to the scrambled one. This principle is everywhere. If you spill a glass of milk, it splashes and forms a random, disorderly puddle. You would be utterly shocked if the puddle gathered itself up and flowed back into the glass. Why? Because there are trillions of ways for milk molecules to be arranged in a puddle, but only a very specific set constitutes milk in a glass. The universe favors the more probable, disordered state. Every broken dish, every dissolving sugar cube, every melting ice cube demonstrates the second law of thermodynamics. These examples highlight the core issue. The past is organized and whole, the future is mixed, broken, dispersed. Our memories function the same way. Forming a memory is an event, it's like cracking the egg. A specific set of neurons fires in a particular pattern, creating a durable trace. This is an ordered event at a specific point in time. Remembering the future would be knowing the final place of every milk molecule before the spill. It's not just difficult, it's nonsensical from a physical standpoint. That's why we have records of the past: photographs, books, fossils, memories. A photograph captures ordered light and shadow from the past. A fossil is the ordered remains of a once-living creature. These are imprints of lower entropy states. The future, as increasing entropy, is spreading possibilities and decaying order. It cannot leave a record before it happens because happening creates the disorder that drives time forward. We've established time's arrow is tied to entropy, a cosmic law, a one-way journey from order to disorder. But this raises an even deeper philosophical question. Is the future truly unwritten, or is it just hidden from us? If the universe operates according to deterministic physical laws, couldn't a superintelligent being with knowledge of every particle's position, momentum, calculate the entire future? In this view, the future is just as fixed as the past. Our inability to remember it is merely a limitation of our perception, computational power, not a feature of reality itself. This idea challenges our most basic intuitions about free will and possibility. It suggests that the feeling of an open future is just an illusion created by our ignorance. However, the introduction of quantum mechanics complicates this deterministic picture. At the subatomic level, events are fundamentally probabilistic, not certain. We can only predict the likelihood of an outcome, not the outcome itself. If the universe is truly random at its core, then the future may be genuinely unwritten. It isn't just that we can't know it, it's that there is no single definite future to be known until it actually happens. This leads us to the mystery of consciousness itself. Our subjective experience, our feeling of moving through time, our anticipation of what's next, our reflection on what has been, is the ultimate manifestation of time's arrow. Why do we feel time passing? Is this sensation simply our brain processing information in a sequence dictated by entropy? Or is consciousness something that imposes its own temporal structure on reality? We are so deeply embedded within the flow of time that it's nearly impossible to step outside of it and see it for what it truly is. So, while we have a powerful scientific framework for understanding why time moves forward, the mystery is far from solved. The ultimate why the universe began in such a special low-entropy state to begin with, remains one of the most profound questions in all of cosmology. Was it a random fluctuation, a feature of a multiverse? We don't know. For now, we are riders on this arrow of time, able to look back at the trail we've left behind but with no map of the terrain ahead. And perhaps that's for the best. The mystery of the future is what makes it worth living.